Hey guys, Brian delivered you the goods here, returning to you this almost late morning for a album review. Sorry that I didn't get to any other album reviews last night. It's just I was really tired, and after working yesterday's shift, I just got really drained. So pretty much, I'm returning to you for Arch Enemy's Blood Dynasty Regular Edition album review. Um, I'm just gonna call it an album review, and then I'll review the deluxe edition when I'm able to find the tracks. So it's gonna be in its own time, the deluxe edition tracks, when I review them. So pretty much, I'm gonna discuss what I listened to for the 11 songs, which is almost 43-minute record, and let you know what I thought of this 11-track album overall for 43 minutes. So let's dive into this Arch Enemy Blood Dynasty album review. So it starts with Dream Stealer, which is a great track, by the way. Alyssa White's uh, screaming vocals and her death growl vocals are pretty strong. Even her regular singing is pretty solid. But overall, this track did very well as a single alone. That came out back in July 30th of last year, or July 31st. It was somewhere around there. But pretty much it was a strong track from what I listened to, and still a great single for a lead single. 5 out of 5. Illuminate the Path is a strong track too. I really like Alyssa's screaming vocals. Her death growl vocals sound great, and just the way this track comes off is pretty heavy and strong with the guitar work and drum work, and did very well. So production and mixing was pretty strong too, so 5 out of 5. March of the Miscreants was a pretty rockin' track too. Another one I enjoyed. Another 5 out of 5 for me. I think Alyssa's screaming vocals, the guitar work, and drum work are great. All of those aspects are great about this track. And just the way this song presents itself, it comes off pretty heavy. The verses and the choruses are pretty strong too, so really dug that. 5 out of 5. A Million Suns is a pretty interesting track from what I listened to. Good heavy metal track. And from what I listened to, Alyssa's screaming vocals are pretty strong too. She still almost sounds like Anders Frieden from In Flames, and that's a compliment because her screaming death growl vocals are pretty strong. So I really enjoyed that about this track, and just the track alone is pretty strong. So 5 out of 5. Don't Look Down is another strong track too that I personally enjoyed. I love the heavy metal vocals in this track, and the guitar work and drum work's pretty strong too. And then overall, the verses and the choruses, I think the chorus is my favorite aspect about the track. So 5 out of 5. Mostly the verses are strong too in its own way, but the chorus is my favorite part. Presage, I believe is how you pronounce it, is a 47-second track. It's just with acoustic guitar work. It's pretty good in its own way. It's just a more interlude kind of track, but it's not terrible in any way, so 4.75 out of 5. It's the least favorite as an interlude, but it gets you into the next track, which is the title track. And now we talk about Blood Dynasty, which is a great single. Really enjoyed this as a single when it came out late last year. And Alyssa's screaming vocals are pretty strong when the chorus kicks in, and the verses are pretty strong too. And guitar work and drum work is pretty outstanding. A 5 out of 5 is well deserved for this track. And I remember reviewing this. If you haven't seen my review for most of these singles, like Paper Tiger, Dream Stealer, Liars and Thieves, and Blood Dynasty, definitely go check those out. We'll be talking about the other songs in a second, the last two singles, and the other tracks too. So pretty much 5 out of 5 for Blood Dynasty. Paper Tiger was the last single for this record before the record came out. And off the bat, it's pretty strong. I like the screaming vocals and screaming potential from Melissa. And overall, just the guitar work and drum work is pretty epic. And it definitely was a banger for sure. So I'd give this a 5 out of 5 as well. Vivre Libre, I believe is how you pronounce it. Pretty good song. It's just in a different language when Lissa's singing it. But overall, it's not terrible. It's just pretty good in its own way. Just more melodic of a track that I don't know if I can get on board with. But it sounds alright for what it goes for. 4.75 out of 5. The Pendulum is a strong track before you get to the closing track for the regular edition. And it is a great track for how it sounds. Lissa's screaming potential is outstanding, and just execution-wise, this track pulled it off for what it was going for. So, definitely a banger, 5 out of 5. And finally, we get to the closing track, Liars and Thieves, for the regular edition. I think this was a very well put together kind of song, and it sounded good with Lissa's screaming potential, and this track was quite epic. I think execution-wise, it pulled it off for what it was going for, and drumming and guitar work was pretty outstanding. And Alyssa's screaming potential, like I said, is great in this track. So 5 out of 5. Great closing track for sure for the regular edition. Overall production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think Arch Enemy Blood Dynasty was a really strong record. This album was really strong as a whole. And I will be reviewing the other 3 tracks, Break the Spell, Moss, and Evil Dead, in its own time, in my own time when I get around to it, and also when I'm able to find the tracks, because I wasn't able to find those tracks. I know they're out, but it's hard to find those tracks right now because it's not digitally released yet. But overall, from what I listened to for the 11 songs, for the most part, strong record for sure. It's one of my favorite albums. It's as good as Deceivers. It's pretty much compared to Deceivers. It's still classic Arch Enemy. It sounds strong. I think they pulled off a great record for a good heavy metalcore album, and it was pretty strong for how it sounded. So if I were to give Arch Enemy Blood Dynasty its deserved score, I'm feeling a strong 9.5 out of 10 for this record overall. Pretty strong record. Definitely recommend you guys check this album out. If you have not listened to it, Arch Enemy Blood Dynasty. I know I just reviewed it as of today when it came out. I just didn't get around to other reviews sooner. I was in a stream last night, and then a private stream, and then I just went to bed after that. But other than that, yeah, 9.5 out of 10 for Arch Enemy Blood Dynasty. I hope you enjoyed this album review this morning. There will be more album reviews coming very soon. And with that being said, thanks for watching this album review this morning.